The power of keyboard shortcuts. Well, when we start using Excel, we somehow feel that, okay, why do we need shortcuts? When it's faster going to those menu and the ribbons and all of those places and use it. But slowly and slowly, when you start getting better with Excel, you will find that, okay, if you knew a shortcut to something, your life becomes very, very, very easy. When you become a bit faster, you will feel that, okay, Excel is slowing you down, spending hours clicking through menus, searching for options, and getting lost in endless data. What if I say that there is a way to work smarter and not harder? To navigate Excel with speed and precision. Welcome to the world of Excel shortcuts. So why do we need shortcut keys exactly? To transform Excel interaction. We need shortcut keys because they transform how we interact with Excel. Instead of going to the ribbon and doing all that we want to do, it really transforms how we interact with Excel. It reduces the reliance on taking your hands away from your keyboard to your mouse always. That's a big, big thing. And if you have already been using Excel for quite some time, you would know this. And to unlock hidden features. Shortcuts unlock features you might not know that it ever existed. Yes. Speed and efficiency for sure. Shortcut keys makes you faster. Imagine navigating large data sets, formatting cells, or performing calculations in a fraction of time. Less clicking means more doing, allowing you to accomplish tasks more efficiently and a lot more faster. So what are the benefits of using Excel shortcuts if we have to summarize? It increases productivity. By minimizing the time that you spend on each task, you can accomplish more in your day. Shortcuts allows you to complete tasks faster, freeing up time for other important work. Using shortcuts streamlines your workflow, making you much more efficient overall. It improves your accuracy as well. Shortcuts reduce the chance of errors that can occur when navigating with a mouse. Keyboard shortcuts allow for more precise actions, minimizing mistakes. And by reducing error, shortcuts lead to more accurate results in your Excel work. And Excel is all about accuracy, right? When you are working with data and information, you have to be accurate. And that's what shortcut helps you with. You get enhanced focus. Staying on the keyboard keeps you in the flow, maintaining your focus and concentration. By using shortcuts, you minimize the distractions of switching between the input devices. And your enhanced focus leads to improved productivity and better quality of work. Professional development, well, mastering X shortcuts sets you apart as a powerful Excel user. Excel proficiency is a valuable skill in any professional setting, and demonstrating Excel expertise can lead to career advancements, opportunities. That's true. Let's look at a few top Excel shortcuts, and we'll go through each of them in much more details in the later part of this module. But to summarize, like Control plus arrow keys quickly moves to the edges of your data, saving time on large spreadsheets. This shortcut allows you to navigate through your spreadsheets with fast speed and precision, and it's especially useful for large data sets. This shortcut significantly reduces your navigation time. The other one is Control plus Shift plus arrow keys. Now that helps you select data quickly and easily select entire rows of columns or data in seconds. This shortcut allows for quick and precise selection of large data ranges, and by selecting data quickly, let's move this on the top. By selecting data quickly, you can perform operations on large data sets much more efficiently. There's this shortcut of Control plus D and Control plus R. So copy cell contents down without the drag and drop, copy cell contents to the right without the drag and drop. And these shortcuts allow for quick and easy data replication, saving time for manual entry. Instant auto sum and formatting, Alt plus is equal to, that's instant sum, and Control plus 1 is format cells. Flash fill, Control plus E is the flash fill, Control plus H is the find and replace. So all of these shortcuts automate repetitive tasks, saving time and reducing errors in data entry. Something like Control plus, Control minus, Control plus and colons, semicolons, insert today's date, keep your data current with quick data entries. Toggle formula view, easily audit and troubleshoot your formulas. Undo and redo, Control Z, Control Y, Control C, Control V, you already know of all of this. Now, if you talk about the real life impact, by incorporating these shortcuts into your daily routine, you will work faster, reduce errors, and have more time for what really matters. Excel shortcuts aren't just tricks. They are tools that empower you to excel in your work. So are you ready to boost your productivity? Start using Excel shortcuts today. Now, there may be situations where you want to select an entire row or an entire column without having to go to the beginning and then selecting the entire row or the entire column. Well, this is useful when you are adding a new row, removing a new row, adding a new column, or deleting a column. And for that, the shortcut is Shift Space or Control and Space. Let's find it out what it does. I'll move myself once again to the top. So this is here. If I do a Shift and Space, what happens? It selects the entire row. It selects the entire column. Shift and Space or Control and Space. The entire row gets selected or the entire column gets selected. Now you can do whatever you want to do. Let's say you want to delete this entire column, or you want to add a new column before it, or you want to add a new row, or you want to delete a particular row. So remember the shortcut, that's Shift and Space or Control and Space. Simple and easy. That's what shortcuts are for, to make your life simple and easy. So just 2 clicks and you select the entire column or you select the entire row and you are done. Insert and delete new rows. Now that's when the Shift and plus is going to be useful for you. Insert or delete new row after selection. Here it is. I select a new row, doing a Control, Shift and Space. That selects the entire row, and I want to enter a new row between row 6 and row 7. So I select the entire row. The manual way of doing it would have been this. I do a right click and I select insert a row. But the shortcut way of doing it is Shift, Control, Shift, plus and Control minus to delete. So I do a Control Shift plus. You see, the moment I click on Control Shift plus, it gives me a few options. Shift the cells right, shift the cells down, entire row. So I added an entire row. Once again, let's do it. Control Shift plus, entire row, and OK. That adds an entire row. Similarly, if I want to delete a row, I would simply click on Control and minus and it would delete the row for me. Easy. Yeah. See, it deleted the row. You add the row, you delete the row. That's all. So like we did it for the rows, we can do the exact same for columns. Control Shift plus, Control Shift minus, the shortcut keys remain the same. You just select a different option this time. Let's find it out. So that's this. I want to add a new column beside column B. So between A and B, I do a Control Shift plus, I select entire column and it adds an entire column to the left of the cell that you selected. You get this? Or if you want to delete it, you do a Control minus and you delete it. The usual way of doing it would have been this. You select the entire column, do a right click and insert column. But for that you would need a mouse, but you do not want to move to the mouse, and that's why you do a Control Shift plus or a Control minus. So Control Shift plus to add a column or a row, Control and minus to delete a column or a row. That's all. And that's how easy it is. You delete the entire column and it got deleted. You want to delete the column E? No? Okay, let's leave it and you can give it a try. Displaying an autocomplete list. What it is, it shows a drop-down list of existing entries in the column for quick data entry. You'll be clear when I show you this. I'll move it once again myself to the top. And here we are. Now, let's say for the state column or for the city column, we have certain states: New York, Florida, Texas, California, Illinois, and so on. Or the city, Orlando, Houston, and so on. So I hit on customer 19, I put up a date. Now I want to enter the state. I either will have to type it, right? But typing might change the formatting, typing might change something, or I do not want to type at all to be faster. And that's when I use this autocomplete, Alt down arrow. So do you remember that data validation and creating a drop down and selecting the values from there? That's exactly what Alt down arrow does. So Alt down arrow, it gives me a list of all the states that have been mentioned previously in the past in that particular column. Alt down arrow. If you had not done this, you would have had to go to data, you would have had to select data validation, go for the list type, select the source of the data and create a drop down. But here we do it as fast as it could be. Alt and down arrow. Same for the city, same for the laptop brand, and so on. That's make your data entry really, really faster. Exciting, isn't it? I know, I'm sure that you did not know about this one. This one is interesting. What fill write down means is it copies the content of the selected cells to the right or below. Not clear? I'll show you what it does. I'll move myself outside here. Okay, here it is. Now if I want to copy the same data in from column H to column I, so one way of doing it is we do a control C and a control V, but even easier and a faster way to do it is control plus R or control plus T. So control plus R is for right. So right now here we are doing control plus R without a control C and a control V. You see this? Without a control C or a control V. We are just clicking on control and R and it is copying the data that's there on the left side of it to the right one. Easy to understand. Similarly, control plus D copies the data below what's there. Easy. You select all the cells and then you do a control D. It copies the data of all the cells. You select a couple of rows, you do a control R and it copies all the data towards the left. That's all about it. And that's so easy, but very, very, very useful whenever you are using Excel. So let's say you do not just want to move towards the edges, but you want to select that entire chunk of data in a particular column or in a particular row. What do you do for that? So you click on Control plus Shift and then the arrow keys. So that selects the entire data until the edge. So it selects all cells from the current position to the edge of the data. Let's find it out. How does it do and what does it do? Okay, I'll move it from here. Now, if I want to select the entire first column, I would do a Control, Shift and down arrow. Or if I want to select the entire row, I would do a Control, Shift and a right arrow. See, at the moment I clicked on Control, Shift, down arrow, it selected that entire column for me. Or if I did a right arrow, it selected the entire row for me. So no matter where you are, right from that spot, right from that cell, to whichever direction you move. So whether you're moving towards you are using Control and Shift and up arrow, right arrow, left arrow or down arrow, whichever direction you want to select the data, that's what you click. Trust me guys, all of these shortcuts are going to be very, very, very useful when you do not want to move to the mouse. Take your hands away from the mouse all the times. And you can also, so you can select multiple columns. So you do a Control, Shift and a down arrow, and then you do a right arrow, or you do a Control, Shift, right arrow and then down arrows for the number of rows that you want to select. Got me? Control, Shift, right arrow selects that entire row and then you click on down arrow, it keeps selecting the next rows. Similarly for the columns, Control, Shift, down arrow and then you click on right arrow, it selects the next columns as well. The next shortcut that we will be seeing is to quickly move to the edges of the data in the worksheet using the shortcut key Control and the arrow keys. So arrow keys determine which direction you want to move. So it takes you to the edge of your data table. So if you are at the top left corner of the data and you want to come at the bottommost, you do hit on Control and a down arrow and that takes you to the edge of the table. Similarly, if you click a right arrow, it takes you to the rightmost edge of the table. Let's see it for ourselves. So that's a table that we have. We're using the same Excel sheet. And now if I want to use, or if I were to use Control and down arrow, so this is a long table, you see. Now if I have to come, I either will have to scroll down to the bottommost, or what other way do we have? So I am on the number 1 or number 2 cell right now, and I hit a Control and down arrow. See, it brought me to 121 immediately. Let's see it once again. We come to the top. Simple. So Control and down arrow or Control and right arrow is what you need to click to get to the edges of the table or the data columns that you have. The first shortcut that we are going to learn is to freeze the top row. What it does is freezes the top row so it remains visible when scrolling. We'll jump onto our Excel screen. So if you have a large data set with a column heading for each of the table, and when you scroll down, now you feel lost because you don't know what is what. So for this, the usual way of doing it or working around is we use the freeze option. And how do we do it? We go to the view option, we click on freeze panes and we freeze the top row. Now that freezes the top row, and that's what we are going to do, but using a shortcut key. And for this, the shortcut key that we are seeing on the screen is Alt W F R. So let's unfreeze it like we unfroze it just now. And now if we were to scroll down, let's say we scroll down, it's still frozen. So let us go back to view and unfreeze the panes. Okay, now we scroll down, and what we do is Alt WFR, and see the cell, the top row is frozen. Easy to understand, right? Alt WFR. That is the shortcut to freeze your top row and make your data accessible. So you can do this by clicking on any of the cell in the entire table. It automatically freezes the top row for you. This is easy, and well, when it comes to remembering the shortcuts, that would happen when you practice. That's all. Inserting a line break in cell, Alt Enter, and F2 has a different purpose. I'll show that to you. So what we are going to learn is to add a new line within the same cell. So let's say in a cell you have a small sentence or 2 lines of sentence or 2 different words that you want to be shown in different lines. How would you do that? Is exactly what we are going to see here. Let's say we have in the city, we have this city called San Francisco, and now I want the San Francisco thing to be seen in 2 different lines instead of a single line. I'm not talking about wrapping the text over here, I'm talking about breaking the words in 2 different lines. So for that, I first go inside the cell by clicking F2. That's what F2 is for. So I go into the cell by clicking on F2. I come to where I want it to be broken, and then I hit on. See what happened? So Alt Enter. Now no matter what, this will always be seen in 2 different lines, San in one and Francisco in one. So that's breaking a line within the cell. Let's say I want to add an extra space between San Francisco. So San and Francisco, I would do a Alt Enter once again, and it added an extra line for me. Now, you cannot achieve this using the wrap text feature, and that's Alt Enter. To get inside the cell, you click on F2 and then you click on Alt Enter to break the line and see it into different lines within the cell. Let's talk about inserting and editing comment. Yes, we have a shortcut for this as well. Shift and F2, it adds or edits a comment in the selected cell. Let's find it out. What exactly does it do? So if I want to add a comment in this particular cell, I would go to review and a new comment, right? That's the usual way of doing this. But a faster way to do it, this would be Shift and F2. Shift and F2 to create a new comment, or Shift and F2 to edit an already existing comment. If I already have an existing comment, I click on Shift and F2 and I get into the box to edit the comment. That's simple, easy, quick and fast. We're talking about moving selected rows or columns. So after selecting rows or columns, what do is hold the Shift and drag. So this time you have to move to the mouse. Sorry for that, but that's how it works. I'll move myself to the top, come back here, and here it is. So I select a bunch of cells that I want to move, and then I click on Shift and drag and drop. That's pretty much what I'm talking about. So let's say the usual way of, let's find it out how to do it. We selected this, and now if I want to move it, so to move it, you will have to look at, when you're hovering the cursor, you will find that plus kind of an icon to move it. Do you see this? I'll show that to you. We selected it. A bit difficult to catch it, but yeah, once you know it, you know it. So these are the mistakes that you would be doing when you will want to move it. It moves the entire column, but let's say you only want to move a particular block of text. How would you do that? I'll show that to you in a minute. So you see, when you bring the cursor here, this icon that you can see here, the moment you see that icon of the 4 arrows with a plus sign, that's when your cells are ready to be moved. That's all. Next one is auto sum. Alt equal. That's all you need to sum that particular column or the adjacent cells that you want to add up. So let's find it out. I'll move myself to the top once again. So let's say total sales is the column that I want to do a total of. I delete all of these and I write here total sales. Now the usual way of doing it would have been to add a formula is equal to sum or is equal to auto sum you take the mouse, take it to auto sum and do an auto sum. But the faster and the shortest way of doing it would be to click on Alt equal, and that's all. Alt equals, and you create an auto sum for, you get this, right? It's easy to understand. Alt equals, keep it in mind. Whenever you want to do a sum, you click on Alt equals and it does an auto sum of all the adjacent cells on the top. The next shortcut is switching between the worksheet tabs. I'll move myself to the top once again. So Control plus page down or page up, it moves to the next worksheet tab in the workbook. Let's show me. So let's say I have this particular sheet with multiple tabs in it. So sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 4. So there are multiple tabs. Now you want to move around these tabs. The usual way of doing this would have been you take the mouse and click on the tab that you want to go and click on it. But the shortcut is to do a click on the Control but key and hit a page down if you want to move right, and hit a page up if you want to move left. So page down to move right and page up to move left in the list of sheets that you have in that particular worksheet. Very useful when you are using multiple sheets and you want to move around multiple sheets. So you have a profit and loss statement, you have a balance sheet, you have other modules, you want to move around different sheets, and that's how you do it.